Merhaba sevgili izleyiciler, Webrazzi TV'de bugün Uber ofisindeyiz. Uber Türkiye'nin merkez ofisinde Uber'in Orta Doğu başkanı Anthony El-Khoury bizimle beraber. Biz de özel bir röportaj yapacağız. Uber'in Türkiye'de girişimci ekosistemini bir araya getirdiği Uber Pitch etkinliği için kendisi burada. Uber'in bu ekosisteme nasıl katkı yaptığından, aynı zamanda şirketle ilgili gelişmeler ve merak ettiğimiz paylaşım ekonomisi gibi konular var gündemimizde. Önce kendisine dönelim, bir hoş geldin diyelim ve bizimle güncel bilgileri paylaşmasını isteyelim. Şirketle ilgili neler yapıyor Uber küresel olarak. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you.
And thanks for accepting our request today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, you're here for Uber Pitch event as far as I know. But I'm wondering, I want to also talk about the general performance of Uber worldwide. I know that you're still growing, but what are the growth rates in the Middle East as well as in Turkey? Can you share some figures with us?
Yeah, sure. Well, I can talk more in Middle East and North Africa, to be honest, and I think the numbers that we can share, it's been going extremely well for the last couple of years. We have Cairo, which is part of the growth story of internationally. It's the third biggest city in Europe, Middle East and Africa. It's the fastest growing also in the region. I think in 2016 or 2015 we did 1.5 million trips. Today we have 45,000 drivers driving on a monthly basis in Cairo. It's the growth story that everybody's talking about. But Turkey also is leading, if you want, our charge this year. We're very bullish here. We're still small. We have only a couple of thousand drivers, 2,000 drivers working on the platform, but we really strongly believe in the potential. This is why we're here, not only for Uber Pitch, like you said, but more broadly to discuss potential growth stories, to talk with you guys, to see what's the feedback of drivers, rider, and how we can continue growing in this amazing city.
Yeah, and how many cities are there in the region that you are currently operating?
So in the region, there's around 25 cities. But again, this is Middle East and North Africa, but across the globe, we're more than 500 cities. The business has been doing extremely well. And we continue, hopefully, launching a couple of cities in Middle East and North Africa. In Saudi Arabia, we have some launches going on soon, in Egypt, and we're going to continue to grow the business.
Yeah. In terms of growth, Uber is globally, arguably the most aggressive startup. Actually, that's one of the reasons why it is the largest unicorn that we ever known. But when I think about this disruption that you're creating all around the world, has got some costs. Like you have to deal with a lot of legal or some other obstacles, roadblocks. How are you dealing with these? I mean, there should be a cost of disruption. Can you just give us some hints? How are you dealing with these?
Yeah, I think as you point out, the reality is when you bring a new technology in a sector, it tends to take some time to pick off. Today we've been talking a little bit with the team. If you look at transportation regulation across the globe, most of them were written in the late 40s or 20s, without really in mind the new technologies that are coming out. And as we start really implementing this technology, not only in our industry but in other industries, you will see a little bit of challenges. And this is why we need to work with regulators, with stakeholders to improve and if you want, get these regulation to the new century. And this is what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what really strikes me. I mean, the disruption is not just limited with the Uber is not a taxi company, but not just a transportation industry, but everywhere. It's legal frameworks. It is the new startups being born, Uber for X startups and everything. And you're doing Uber Pitch as well. How are you transforming the other factors like the startups and everything? Can you just give us more details about this transformation? How are you feeling it?
Yeah, I think the ecosystem, again, like you point out, technology is not coming only on the transportation industry. You'll see it also in hotels. This new, if you want, this new economy that we call the P2P economy, I think is really going to start blowing everywhere. What we're trying to do from our side to really help the ecosystem. So today we have on transportation, but again, like you point out, Uber is not only, it's a technology company. We have Uber Eats across the globe. We have new technologies like Uber Pool that we're launching. So I think we want to continue investing heavily in our technology, and this is what we're trying to do. This also goes into things like driverless cars. It goes into new technologies like Uber Elevate, a program that we're working with the Dubai government on. So this is the big focus for us in the coming years to come.
Yeah, it's good that you mentioned from Uber Eats and our other services. Do you have any plans to start those services in the region, in Turkey?
So currently we have Uber Eats, I believe, in Dubai. We definitely want to continue growing it. Right now, the big focus would be to continue in Dubai, I think, and in Africa. Hopefully soon we'll be able to launch it in Turkey, but nothing in the very short term.
Another thing that I want to bring up is your impact on employment. Because, it's more common in the region. I see it in my friends who are talking, like we can go and start as an Uber driver and we can just, start making money. Like it's becoming common. And I'm wondering, what's the general picture there? I mean, in the Middle East, in Turkey, how are you influencing the job market?
Yeah, I think I'll first point out that Uber does not employ any drivers or buy any cars. Mm-hmm. To your point, it's more on the sharing economy front. And the reality today, and like I talked to a little bit in the beginning in Cairo, it's a great growth story because usually consumers tend to think about Uber mainly on the rider side. It's great, you can order a ride, it's safe, it's convenient, it's affordable. So this is what you think about. When you really think through it a little bit more, there's another part of the equation, which is the driver. Today in Cairo, we have 45,000 drivers. 40% of them are unemployed. And you can imagine this new economic opportunity that gives you the freedom to drive whenever you want, right? It can be a mom that is dropping off her kids through school and that has a couple of hours to drive and really get some more income to the household. And you'll see, and again, amazing stories in Cairo, in Saudi Arabia, where people that really don't have any other type of income can put food on the table or can put their kids through school. So it's an amazing story. And this is what we want to continue doing, right? It's providing economic opportunities, especially in areas where it's very difficult. And I think Turkey is very similar. Latest, I think, unemployment figures are around 10 to 12%. There's a great story to be told here. This needs to come hand in hand with regulation. I think the reality today is that all the supply that we use in Turkey are licensed supply, so you won't be able to drive on the platform unless you go through all the regulatory, which is today still quite heavy. In other markets like Saudi Arabia, where job creation and Saudization, as they call it, is a big theme for the government. They were able to create regulations that are extremely easy, at the same time very safe and remunerated for the government. And this is where companies like us will be able to flourish.
Yeah, and the competition in the region is increasing, right? How are you feeling it?
Well, to be honest, competition is great. And I think it puts everybody, us and our competitors, to serve our clients, being riders or drivers. So we're always pushing the forefront of technologies in creating new ways for drivers to earn more money and better ways for riders to move from point A to point B. So definitely competition helps us put an industry forward.
Yeah, I mean, I asked this because you talk about it's not easy for everyone to become a driver in the region. So yeah, there should be like a capacity for just supply of the drivers. So do you feel it like there's a restriction kind of thing in the region, or? Yeah,
I think I wouldn't really put the region all in the same bucket. I would say Saudi Arabia has definitely embraced these new technologies, the sharing economy. Egypt has been also working at the same pace. I think Turkey definitely needs to move a bit faster on this, and hopefully this is what we're trying to get across, is that today, if we want this economy, if we want to provide people with better economic opportunities, if we want people to be able to move from the suburbs in a better way, if we want the last mile to work, we need to open up a little bit this industry for other people to join.
Yeah, and then what's next is driverless technologies, right? Autonomous driving, and you are working on that as well. Is the region taking off in that sense? I mean,
Well, I think, very honestly, we're still in early phases right now. So we're still launching testing in Pittsburgh and some other places around the US. I think this comes hand in hand with regulation. So today, if we're not able to regulate the industry, how can we regulate driverless cars, which come with a lot of other complications? So I think this is why I would say we need to get to a better place in a regulatory forefront in the Middle East and any country, in fact, before we start thinking through driverless.
Yeah, and do you want to share your plans, short term and long term, for the region again?
Well, I think the short-term plan is to really continue working with governments across the board to implement the best regulation possible. I think there's also this misconception that Uber does not want to be regulated. Definitely not. We want to find the best regulation for us to provide economic opportunities for drivers and safe and convenient transportation for riders. So working with government to get to a better stage. And as we continue doing that, our vision is to really provide affordable transportation, reduce congestion by launching new technologies like Uber Pool. Uber Pool has been doing extremely well in the US. I think we're also in London and Paris. And this is where you see technology impacting cities. Today, if you look at the numbers, you have 1.5 billion cars across the globe. These are used usually 5% of the time. If you use your personal car, you take it from home to work, it stays in a parking for 6 hours and then from work to home. And I think what we want to do is really transform these personal cars, take them out of the pictures to reduce congestion. This is by launching new product like Uber Pool. So this is, if you want, the long-term vision that we have for cities.
Yeah, great. I want to actually ask you one more question, just asking for your comment. Today we heard that the president of Uber has just left the company. Do you have any insights, any comment to add this development?
Well, I think the last 6 months with Jeff Jones were amazing. We learned a lot from Jeff. And I think right now we're at a point where we both feel that we should continue with different leadership. And this is the only thoughts I have on this matter.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.